Close your eyes for a moment and picture the phrase cat lady. What appears in your mind? For most people, the image arrives instantly, already fully formed. A woman alone, a woman in an oversized sweater or bathrobe, a cluttered home filled with fur, quiet, and isolation. Someone society has decided to laugh at rather than understand. This image feels natural because it has been repeated for decades, through jokes, through sitcoms, through casual warnings disguised as advice. Don't wait too long. Don't be too difficult. Or you'll end up a crazy cat lady. That phrase has never been neutral. It has always been a threat. But here is the uncomfortable question most people never stop to ask. Why? Why is a man who lives alone described as independent, while a woman who lives alone is described as lonely? Why is a man with multiple dogs seen as outdoorsy or disciplined, while a woman with multiple cats is framed as unstable? Why does solitude signal freedom for one gender and failure for the other? The answer has nothing to do with animals. It never did. The answer has everything to do with power, autonomy, and control. A cat is not an obedient creature. A cat cannot be commanded. A cat does not perform affection to maintain harmony. It does not adjust itself to please anyone else's ego. A cat gives affection only when it chooses to. And a woman who builds her emotional world around a creature like that becomes deeply unsettling to a society that has spent centuries conditioning women to be agreeable, accommodating, and endlessly available. This is why the stereotype exists. Not because the woman is broken, but because she is difficult to manage. Today we are dismantling the myth completely. Not by romanticizing it, not by mocking it, but by understanding the psychology underneath it. This is not about hoarding. This is not about social withdrawal. This is not about mental instability. This is about autonomy, boundaries, consent, solitude, and the quiet psychological strength of a woman who does not require external validation to feel complete. This is the psychology of the so-called cat lady, or, as she has always truly been, the guardian of the independent soul. To understand this woman, you first have to understand the animal she chooses to share her life with. Dogs and cats represent two very different psychological relationships to the world. A dog looks at a human and communicates a single, central message. You are the center of my universe. Dogs thrive on hierarchy. They are energized by instruction. They seek reassurance through obedience and approval. Cats communicate something else entirely. A cat looks at you and says, I am the center of my universe. What do you contribute to it? This difference is not trivial. It is deeply psychological. In behavioral science, this is often described through the mirror principle. We are drawn to animals that reflect either how we see ourselves or how the world has treated us. For centuries, women were expected to behave like dogs, to anticipate needs, to remain pleasant under pressure, to smooth conflict, to be emotionally available at all times. The woman who identifies with cats rejects this role instinctively. She recognizes herself in a creature that is self-sufficient, selective, observant, unapologetic about its limits. When she bonds with a cat, she is not choosing the easier animal. She is choosing a relationship built on respect instead of control. Cats do not fake affection to keep peace. They do not tolerate discomfort to avoid conflict. They leave when something feels wrong. And for a woman who has spent her life being told to endure, accommodate, or explain herself, this is not just appealing. It is affirming. When a woman looks at her cat, she is not simply seeing a pet curled up on the couch. She is seeing a mirror, a being that does not chase approval, a being that does not apologize for needing space. a being that understands closeness, has value only when it is voluntary. This is where the stereotype begins to threaten social norms. Because one of the most powerful psychological lessons cats teach is the lesson of consent. You cannot force a cat to love you. You cannot demand closeness. You cannot rush trust. If you pick up a dog without warning, it will often tolerate it. If you do the same to a cat, you will learn very quickly where your boundaries end. To love a cat, you must learn patience. You must read subtle body language. You must accept rejection without interpreting it as hostility. You must wait to be invited. For many women, especially those whose boundaries have been crossed repeatedly, this kind of relationship is deeply healing. We live in a world where women's time, bodies, and emotional labor are often treated as public resources, where saying no requires explanation, where boundaries are questioned, negotiated, or ignored. Inside a home shared with a cat, a different psychological system exists. Nothing is taken. Everything is offered. When a cat jumps onto a woman's lap and begins to purr, that moment carries weight. Because it was not demanded, it was not expected, it was chosen. That certainty matters. For a woman who has experienced manipulation, entitlement, or emotional pressure, this kind of affection rewires something deep in the nervous system. The cat becomes a teacher. It teaches that love does not require self-sacrifice. It teaches that closeness without consent is not intimacy. It teaches that distance is not rejection, and independence is not abandonment. This is why the bond feels unusually pure. A cat cannot pretend. It cannot perform affection convincingly. When it is present, it is real. To fully understand why this bond has been mocked and feared, we need to look backward. Long before the stereotype existed, cats were sacred. In ancient civilizations, cats were associated with protection, intuition, and the unseen. In Egypt, harming a cat was considered a crime. Cats symbolized divine feminine energy and guardianship of the home. In Norse mythology, cats pulled the chariot of Freya, the goddess of love, fertility, and war. They were associated with independence and spiritual power. But during the Middle Ages, something shifted dramatically. As institutional authority strengthened, independent women became dangerous. The woman who lived alone. The woman without a husband. The woman who understood healing, herbs, and cycles. She did not require supervision, and beside her there was often a cat. The narrative changed violently. Cats became symbols of witchcraft. Independent women became threats. They were punished together. This period created what many psychologists refer to as the witch wound, an inherited cultural trauma linking female autonomy with danger and shame. Modern mockery of the cat lady unconsciously echoes this fear. A woman who chooses solitude, who prefers animals to social performance, who does not center her life around male approval, disrupts deeply ingrained expectations. Ridicule becomes a way to neutralize her power. Now let's move away from symbolism and examine the science. Modern psychology has extensively studied personality differences between cat people and dog people, often through the Big Five personality traits. Across multiple studies, individuals who identify as cat lovers consistently score higher in openness to experience. This trait is associated with creativity, imagination, intellectual curiosity, and tolerance for complexity. In simpler terms, cat ladies tend to be non-conformists. They question norms. They tolerate ambiguity. They appreciate depth over simplicity. Dog lovers on average score higher in traits associated with social conformity and structure. Neither is superior, but the difference matters. The stereotype frames cat ladies as antisocial. The data suggests something else entirely. Cat-oriented individuals often score as introverted, but introversion is not pathology. It simply means energy is restored internally rather than through constant external stimulation. These women are not avoiding people. They are selective. Research has also examined intelligence and emotional sensitivity. Studies have found that individuals who identify as cat lovers often score higher on cognitive tests. The explanation is practical. Living with a cat requires observation, sensitivity, interpretation of subtle cues. Cats communicate quietly. They expect awareness rather than command. People drawn to this type of relationship often possess higher emotional intelligence and cognitive flexibility. They are not drawn to loud validation. They are drawn to complexity. Another persistent myth is that cat ladies are depressed or unstable. Large-scale studies examining mental health outcomes show no statistical link between cat ownership and depression, loneliness, or social dysfunction. Cat owners are just as socially active and emotionally satisfied as dog owners. They simply structure their lives differently. They choose depth over noise. Even physical health tells a different story. Long-term studies have found that cat ownership is associated with reduced risk of cardiovascular events, including heart attacks. Stress reduction plays a significant role here, which brings us to one of the most fascinating biological aspects of this bond. A cat's purr vibrates at frequencies between 20 and 140 Hz. This range overlaps with frequencies used in vibration therapy to promote healing, reduce inflammation, and regulate the nervous system. When a cat curls up on a woman during moments of stress or grief, it is not coincidence. It is co-regulation. The cat calms. The woman softens. Their nervous systems synchronize. For women who statistically experience higher levels of chronic stress, this form of regulation is powerful. The cat is not a symbol of emotional deficiency, it is a stabilizer. Now let's address the final accusation. She just has cats because she can't get a man. This belief assumes that partnership is always preferable to solitude. Psychology strongly disagrees. There is a profound difference between being lonely and being alone. Loneliness is distress. Solitude is choice. Cat ladies are often highly sensitive individuals. They feel noise, tension, and emotional chaos more intensely. When they come home, they do not crave stimulation. They crave peace. The cat provides companionship without demand, presence without pressure. This is known as parallel intimacy, being together without intrusion. For introverted or emotionally attuned individuals, this is one of the deepest forms of connection. The cat lady is not hiding from the world. She is curating it. She has learned that peace is worth more than proximity. That calm is more valuable than chaos. That a quiet evening with a purring animal can be more nourishing than a relationship built on compromise. So if you are a woman who prefers evenings with a book and a cat, if you speak to your cat as if it understands you, if you have been labeled difficult simply because you protect your boundaries, understand this clearly. You are not broken. You are perceptive. You are not lonely. You are selective. You are part of a lineage of women who understood that trust must be earned, that love must be freely given, and that solitude can be sacred. A house without a cat is just a structure. A house with a cat becomes a sanctuary. You are not a stereotype. You are a guardian. And the quiet strength you embody is exactly why society tried to turn you into a joke in the first place.